from what you said, what interested me was when you're talking about the consultants employed by farmers to represent the farmers in government, and the opposite being the case in Africa. So that structure, is it not more valuable to export the structure than to give aid in the long run?
Yeah, yes. In the long run, it's what we should be doing. You see, um, yeah, the structure. Africans, we have a very big problem of how to acquire knowledge. When we are sent to European or American or developed countries to learn, we are located to the classroom, then taught what it is like from the books. We never have any practical experience. Then we go back to our countries and we want to implement. So you don't have access to the base of mindset.
Yes.
It's
Because it's
it's
been
a
a
constructed
movement.
mindset they sell to you.
Yes.
Yeah. This is not negatively meant. But the African government themselves are not either good at tapping the resources they have outside. Sometimes when people come after education, they go back to their countries to do something, they will look mean upon. When they start a project, somebody in government says, "Oh, you are competing with me," then they kill the project. Because we are not very, this
They feel
notion
threatened.
of, they feel threatened. So they come back. They come back not because they can't, it's because they can't deal with the system as it is. They feel threatened. Then they leave the job and come back.
So the problem is
Yeah.
the structure.
Yeah. But this exporting of structure, you have to build it from your own system with a knowledge of how other people are doing. You see, there is a land tenure system in
Yes.
which the Chinese practice now, I think so, after the communism.
Yes.
Before communism, people owned the land.
Yes.
Then when communism came, government took over. But then when the Chinese were liberating the communism from the old time, they created some sort of capitalism in communism,
Yes.
where individual interests are ahead. So they divided this
Individual enterprise.
was promoted.
Yeah.
So they divided these lands, which are state land, to
Yes.
the people who were working on. So
Willing to
everybody
work
has
with
a
it,
small patch of the land.
Yes.
And what happened was that
Increases the tax base.
yes, but everybody because now it's from government to people.
Okay.
But the land is so small that if you, an individual, you want to use it, you can't get very much out of it. Then some companies, people form a kind of associations or
Cooperatives.
cooperatives, and then put all this land together.
Yes.
Then you are all members of this company.
There's the coherence.
And then you work there,
Yes.
and you also get money for contributing your land.
Yes.
So then you have a management board
Yes.
who decides what we should plant and
Yes.
what we should focus on.
Yes.
So, but you work there.
Yes.
So it is you get a rent for your land, and then
Yes.
you are working to earn a living.
Yes.
This process you don't find in Ghana. You don't
Okay.
find it on the African continent. But it is something we have to really look at because many African land.
But isn't the only reason why you don't find it because we have been divorced from our traditional structure? Because if technology and all those things was induced into, because we were the first in social structures. I mean,
The structure, but that if you want to develop, you have to. Right now, you are at the state, so we will have to ask the question: what do we do from here to the future? If we have to focus on the deprivations we get, we are never going forward. That is my thought, because land tenure system in Africa is also partly, actually in Ghana, is also partly community land. Even if you
That's
own the
general
land,
in Africa. Yes.
even if you own the land, the community you belong to owns that land too. So
you have
in
an
my
obligation.
yes.
You are borrowing the land from the community, basically.
Yeah, but if it is your land, you don't pay to the community for having the land. It is your land, but you can't just get up and sell your land to a foreigner.
I get that.
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
that
you
we
see,
have,
yeah.
we have that in Malawi. We have a dual system in Malawi.
So
And-
you can't
and-
just do that without the community accepting it or
Yes,
not
yes, yes,
accepting it.
yes.
So in that way, we think of land as a community
Yes.
property.
So here's my thing. My thing is that structure that you're talking about is represented by either the royal structure, the chief, the king, or whatever.
Yeah.
They're the custodians of that particular structure. That is also the structure that has been here in Denmark as well. So in general, right across the world, you have that structure.
Yes, but basically we are all human beings, and
Yes.
from generation we also think the
and
same
what
way.
happened in Denmark is somehow there was a movement from the feudal situation into the proletariat and all of that, and the whole process has been very interesting. That's why you have the democracy that you have now. We happen to just jump into whatever colleges are available right now without looking
Yes.
at the process.
Yes,
that has gone through.
but that again for me is a history we have to know, because the African had been exposed after the coming of the Europeans. We have been colonized for many years, and if you come and colonize somebody and you want to get some benefit, you have to put down your structures that allow you to get the benefit. Is that all right?
That's
That's
right.
what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you know about it, okay, then what do? You have to limit those structures so that you can build your own structure.
Yes.
Yeah. That they came and destroy our structure, we can't do very much. The worst part is that today we have a lot of religions in Africa more than where the religion came from. Yeah, the churches we have in Africa, they
Taking
are more,
liberties with people. Yes.
they are more than where they came from. I mean,
Yes.
today.
Yes.
But in historical perspective, when people are poor, then you need the churches. You see Denmark here. If you go to Copenhagen here, you have many churches. It's just that they are not being used today as they did in those days. In those days, it's all when the country was with a lot of poor people. You also have people going to church and trying to survive the whole mechanism of the human race. And that is what, it's just sad, it's what is happening on the African continent today.
Yes.
And so we take a longer process in changing the things. But what I'm concerned about is the structure we have now. What do we do about it to improve it and get it going forward? We have to create a lot of transparency, accept people's way of being individuals or community-based thinking. And
Are you talking Denmark or Africa now?
no, I'm talking about the African issue, what you
Okay.
can carry forward from the experiences you get in Europe and instill, and then mix it with the African community thinking.
Okay. So if we were to try to transpose the Danish structure into the African situation, what would be the first steps?
You mean
Apart from you getting into parliament?
You mean in the farming
Especially
community?
that one, since
Yes,
we are-
in
since
the
we are
farming
rural-
community.
since we're rural.
See, I think I want to see. My hope is to see villages, the villages in Africa who has access to this land, to sit down and tell the quality of the land they have. What can we do with it? The quality of the waters we have. What can we do with it? And plan from a community perspective, and allow people to do their work individually. But the community perspective has to be there. Then each village is strong enough to produce something they can sell to their neighbors and buy from their neighbors.
So that is a structure.
Yes,
rather
that's the
than-
mindset we have to work with, because this mindset...
Is that what you see, the foreign direct investment going directly
Yes,
into
yes.
that?
I want foreign direct investment to go directly to communities and not to the government.
It's not that direct right now, is it?
No, because no...
They call it that, but it really
I
isn't.
don't know. The problem is that in the international law, it is stated that you can't a country cannot support inhabitants of another country without passing to the government.
That makes sense.
Yeah, to some extent, but not
that
always.
is also the problem.
Yeah, we are completely. To an extent, it does make sense, but it doesn't make sense if you are poor and the governments are corrupt.
At the same time, you have NGOs.
Yeah. Yes, but the NGOs, yes, I like them, but it's not.
Some of them have budgets that are bigger than countries. Like, for example, we had one particular NGO in Malawi, which is way richer than the Malawian which by then the way it works is actually undermines a lot of the structure.
Yes, yes, those things we have to be aware of, and but all those things you solve by transparency, because if you are transparent, you can tell these people, hey, this is what you are doing, it's not benefiting the country. There are so many issues in that area. That's also why I talk about the community development, which is based on the community assessing their capacity and identifying what they can sell here, and then in this way you avoid all these NGOs and the government, actually the governments, you know. Then the government can focus on making the roads that connect the cities, you know. They can focus on those basic things, so that the trading activities or the productive activities of the society is based on these community areas developing their possibilities. What's the time now?
Okay, we've got to make a move. I just want to finish off on one word. It seems to me that the key word now here is transparency.
Yeah, transparency, and with a lot of investment from transparency is to protect the investment that are coming to the African continent.
And that is how we can basically...
Yes, we should have transparency to protect the investments coming to the African continent. And that is...
On
that
behalf
is the
of
way,
the Africans and on behalf of the Danish voters
both,
as well.
Both,
we are obligated to both the Danish voters.
Because
and
there are many people who want to help. They just don't know how to help.
Yes.
Yeah, to see the fruit of their
help.
They
need to see the fruit of their help. It needs to make sense to the people. We've had them frustrated for too long, and now they're getting to the point where they're saying, you know what, we might as well kick them all out.
Yes, I mean, they can say that. I mean, if you have the short span.
If people feel a short span, no patience. But on the other hand, we do have a lot of people who don't see it that way.
But that is a question of education. We just have to be talking and talking and talking. That's what you are doing now with this video.
Yes.
Because we have to talk until we catch people's mind in how to start questioning their own part in this.
All right, Latte Lawson, we wish you good luck. Hopefully,
yes, I hope you can get something out of this.
No, I hope you get something out of it, because we need to put you in there.
But I believe that we should have a kind of multiracial parliament which allows all the people who live here should also be part of the political system. And these some people, they think, oh, why should you do that? But it is the best way to do things so that we are all well represented in the society. Many of the issues we have, we could have avoided them if we had been more multiracial in the setup of the parliament.
But if we... Do we have to mention race? I mean, once we
no, this is not. But that's the question.
This the thing is that if we're talking,
it's not a question about
from
race.
the moment you say multiracial, you are mentioning race.
Yeah, but that's also what it makes it very difficult, because what do you say to people to catch you quickly?
I think you say the things that actually do matter to a lot of people, which is transparency. I don't think it's even necessary. I think it is too focused on race. Sorry to push in my thing.
But I agree with you that
when you come as a person who talks about when you talk technical things, when you talk about experience on the farm, when you talk about transparency, these issues are very universal. These principles are very universal, and if we can stick to those.
Yes, but the problem is politics. You have to be there to make it known to other people. I'm a well-qualified personality.
Yes.
I have my job. I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yes.
Nobody knows about what I know in my heart or what I want.
You don't have to.
Yeah. So to go into politics, it's about saying that, oh, I'm also there. I can contribute.
Yes.
Yeah, that is why you go into politics, that you can contribute. And my contribution...
Politics should not be opportunism.
No.
Politics should be because a service.
Yes, yeah.
Out of your conviction, your true conviction.
Yeah.
So twisting any issue because maybe you have failures in other areas and you want to compensate for them through politics, that is not acceptable.
This is not the
that.
issue. It is about contributing to the society.
Yeah.
Because right now we are discussing immigration, but in this society, I do many things. I'm very much for the young people, the schools, and the parents, and all my political engagement here in the local areas is built on children, young people, and education.
Yes, community.
That's my
improving the community. And the community which you have already thrived in, a community which has already accepted you. I mean.
Yeah, but accepting me means that you are open to people and you see people and engage in people's life.
Okay.
I went to the office sometime. When I tell my colleague, one colleague at the office, all the things I'm doing, she look at me and say, she never remember the time she